When I was invited to talk at Blair High School, I was thinking I was going back to my memory when I was in high school. So I thought maybe it's useful, or interesting at least, to some of you to know how I became a conductor. So I was born in a small town, Agrigento, in Sicily, in Italy. And I was quite good at school, and I had my love for piano. When it was time to graduate, the dilemma of deciding who I was going to be started to be in my head. And, in my town and at that time, being a musician was not really the first choice for people, especially if you were quite talented at school. You want to be a lawyer or a doctor, something with a real job. So I started to look around and inquire. And so, since I was not really a revolutionary, and it was not clear to me, actually, really what I wanted to be, I decided to choose a little safer path, in my opinion. So I decided to start in college as an electronic engineer. Some of you who play in some of my orchestras will be shocked about that. Me too. So I started, I went there, and my father even bought me a piano when I moved to the Sicily capital, Palermo. And I started to follow all the courses, chemistry, math, physics. I kind of liked it. I was interested, and I was doing pretty. Just, I felt, I don't know if you ever felt that way. I felt like a car on a trailer on the highway. You know the car trailer when the car are up, but you are not driving. You are moving, but you are not driving. I remember my friends having such a wonderful time talking about the new discovering microchips of super fast computers, all that kind of exciting thing for them. I was, yes, it's exciting, but my heart was not full. I didn't really feel, dreaming. So one day I remember I was demonstrating a math theorem about 1 is different from 0. And I know it was kind of exciting for a lot of my friends. But at the end of that, I found the solution. Yes, 1 is different from 0. Yes. And then I look at my piano, and I look, 1 is different from 0. So at that moment, that was my tipping point. I went to the piano, I sat down, and I finally, was clear to myself, who are you kidding? You are a musician, there is no way. So right there, I immediately, in 2 days, changed my path. It was a little bit of a scandal in the family, but not that much. You know how it is, not that much. But my parents told me, we hope you will be a real, had a real job in life, but we know you really like music. So at the end, the fact that you find yourself was more important than anything else. Why I tell you that? Because I see a lot of you here in high school. I think it is okay to try, and it's okay to change your path in life. As long you find your bliss, as long you find what's really make you alive. And I feel like now that I really have my dream job, I feel like I'm driving a Ferrari myself on a high-speed race course, And that's, I think, is very important. Life is short, and you can be a wonderful masterpiece. So contribute to the society with who you really are, and not because it's safer or is a better choice for the people who think around you. So besides that, now why somebody will choose to live a good career as an engineer to be something so crazy of a harm waiver? What kind of job is conducting? Conducting, many of you already know what the conductor does. The conductor keeps the players together through a magical thing, a telepathic and a miraculous tool. This tool is called the beat. Now, I don't tell my players, and the ones of you who play with me, please almost don't think too much about it. But the reality is, when we conduct, there is an incredible process in the mind of the players, especially the players. They are looking your arm and doing all sorts of mathematical equations, so they can predict. It's like when you do the trajectory. They can predict when to place the sound and how to place it. So in many ways, a lot of mathematics. I thought I was escaping my engineering, but I kind of in the middle of a lot of equation, no matter what. So how the beat works. To my students at Catholic University, I say, imagine you have a table. The beat is when you lift from the table and come back to the table. The sound happens, at least in America. The European conductor is a little different, but in America happens on the beat. And ta. Through that beat, to that gesture, we can convey a lot of information. It can be soft, loud, it can be, of course, fast or slow, and of course, with our left hand involved with the beat, we can convey the most important aspect of music, that is the communication. Now, why we don't try? I cue you, so I don't see you, but you see me. So I cue you something like softer or louder. Can you say ta and respond accordingly? I will tell you that you all can make this wonderful mathematical equation. Let's try. That was a little soft. You look at my sides. Can you please do a little closer to that? That was wonderful. Try this other one. One, oh yeah? Yes. So I guess somebody will say, yeah, no wonder you want to be a conductor. It's much easier than be an engineer. In some ways it is, but in others it's not. So let's go on to some more aspect of conducting. So let's imagine a conductor who is perfectly trained. He's a craft with his hands, right and left hand, his beats, his a harmonic analysis, theory, phrase analysis, all kinds of music history. He knows everything. So he gets a job. The first thing he needs to do before he want to do a concert is choosing the repertoire. And somebody can say, that's easy. So the conductor is like the king in the conducting world. He can choose whatever he wants. Or he should choose something the audience likes. Or no, maybe he should choose something the orchestra likes. Yes, all of these are correct answers. But actually, they don't always happen to be true at the same time. The reality is, and that's one of the first challenges for a conductor, when you decide what you want to play, you always need to keep in mind who is your target. If you conduct a college or a youth orchestra, your target is the development of your players. So you need to choose a repertoire that inspires them and at the same time give them the most information. When you conduct a professional orchestra, your target is the audience, the ticket sales, the donors, the press. So you need to choose a repertoire that is targeting that. Now, you say, how about the conductor? Do you ever choose what he likes? Yes, we kind of always do. But the reality is, hopefully we have a long list of pieces we like, so that every time we choose a piece, the first goal will be the appropriate piece for the appropriate orchestra. And then, of course, if you like, it makes a difference. I'm honest, I never conducted a piece I don't like, because when you conduct a piece, you are an advocate for that piece. You are really somebody who is telling the truth. You cannot lie. So conducting a piece you don't like, it can be very, very dangerous, besides being frustrating, of course. Now, once you choose your music, you need, of course, confront some budget issue as well. You always have a season with a budget. So the larger is the orchestra, especially like we're talking, of course, in a professional world, the more it costs. The more your music is rental, the more there's budget for that. The more you want to have a yo-yo ma every year, the more you're going to pay for that. So as a conductor, when you plan your season, you need to have your budget and a calculator and always go back to back. So to make sure never go over budget. Or if you go over budget, you better have a big millionaire friend who is going to say, yes, board, I went over budget, but here is the $1 million I went over budget. So I don't know how long you're going to last, but at least for the first time you do that, you're going to be saved. Now, once this is done, the conductor needs to do the rehearsal. The rehearsal is crucial. And we used to say that the first 15 minutes of the rehearsal is the time where it is decided if it's the conductor who conducts the orchestra or the orchestra that conducts the conductor. So it's essential the rehearsal is really planned. Planned really minimal details. Every 5 minutes of the usual 2 hours and a half, you need to plan where you are going to be. And at the same time, you want to make sure that you engage with your players. What I tell my students often is you need to rehearse the rehearsal, go over the score, and anticipate any problem you can have. Now, what we need to achieve in a rehearsal, the basics are, one, the ensemble. People need to play together. That's the basic. Then we can go a little more into some more details. That is balance. Which instrument needs to carry the melody more? Is anything too loud? Is anything too soft? So like a mixer person in a sound box, you need to do a live mixing of the sounds. Then, of course, you need to make sure the intonation match. So then you start to take apart a few spots and try to make everybody listen to each other. But then the most important thing is you need to convey the message of the piece. Music exists because it's a communication between people. It doesn't matter the past, the future. You know, we are listening to Beethoven still today, and the message from the past arrived to us like a completely contemporary to us. So the way to achieve that is a lot of psychology, a lot of determination. Some of the students who play with my orchestra, they know I never give up. And I will repeat until we make it. And I'm a stronger believer, we always can do better. And everyone can improve. No matter the orchestra where it starts, at the end of the rehearsal, we can be higher. Now, I have a couple of examples of wonderful rehearsing. Let's see the first one.
Somebody has to walk with that. You know, I have to listen people walking out. You know, we need a lot of ambulance in this contrast, you know. The adjective that he used first, that allegro vivacissimo, that I always say, is allegro guerriero. Guerriero. War. Allegro in war, something like that, has to be the translation. But then he changed to allegro vivacissimo. But okay? Has to be no, but clean. Together. Here we are. One. Yeah. Not different here. Titolo. Grand Prix. Okay? With the same energy. Beautiful. Whew.
Yes, and I believe there is another one. Let me see. Okay, maybe it's not. Okay, good. Why? Oh, yes, that is it. This is it.
I think you're all too well-mannered. You've been brought up too well. Trop bien éduqué. The big downbeat and the two beat. At the last, the full quarter. Really bestial. Beastly music. Brought to the highest, most refined point. So, that means shooters. Until the second beat. Do it. That's rough. You let ball. We need it. It's primeval, primordial, whatever you want to call it. The glissando, all those as long as possible, right? Then let me hear the glissando. It doesn't make me sick. I want to feel sick. In other words, the glissando must be as slow as possible. You know, it's a slow tempo. Realize how long it takes
Now, why these are good rehearsal? Besides, of course, the personality, and God bless Leonard Bernstein and Dudamel, they are wonderful human beings. But they are technical. They tell exactly what they want. But also they add the message about the history of the piece. What Dudamel said when the orchestra was a little too light and not enough aggressive, he went back to say, look, the composer wrote at first allegro guerriero, warrior allegro. Then he changed to do vivacisto. It means his first thing was like a war. Bam! And that gives an idea, but also a support of a documentation. It's not making things up. On the other side, he did some balance. He showed that this is more, this is less. And he didn't give up. Even the orchestra was pretty good for the first rehearsal. But still, he wanted just perfect. Until he got it, he didn't stop. So he repeated the first 2-3 notes a lot. Why Bernstein is also wonderful in this rehearsal? He's giving a suggestion to do something in a certain way, but he's giving the reason, and a human reason. So, rehearsing is fantastic. It really can make the orchestra close to the conductor in a way that it's a miracle. And you feel like the energy is like going from your arm to every single player, and from every single player it comes to you, like an incredible energy field. Now, when the rehearsal process is finished, some people say, why we need the conductor? They rehearsed, they are perfect, what do you need for? You really need the conductor. Several things. First of all, the conductor is the catalyst of this magical, incredible, energetic field. And everybody through the conductor see like an amplification of the meaning of the music. At the same time, when you have a conductor, the conductor can manage to balance things on the spot. There is always adrenaline in a live performance. That is a wonderful thing. But adrenaline can make some, interesting, surprises. Some people may rush. So the conductor needs to pull and make sure everybody goes back on the right tempo. Somebody can get afraid. So the conductor can be like the ones, like a celebrity coach who's going to say, go for it, guys, it's coming that spot, go for it, yes, now. But in many ways, the conductor is like a general in an army. Now, let's see one performance that really astonished me, and I will... Yes. I agree. What's wonderful? Did you feel the energy? Did you want to stand up with them, the joy of being alive and tell everybody, we love you? That's what an orchestra should do, moving in a way that is alive. Some of the people who play with me, they know. When I see people playing like this, oh yeah, that's so romantic. I'm so involved. This piece is wonderful. Yeah, it's about love and death. It's hard to convey the message to the audience. So that's what of course, we cannot ask every orchestra, please stand and dance. And not every piece is, of course, appropriate to do that. But the energy, the irresistible urge to say people how much is beautiful to be alive, that's why music is in existence. Now, let me close to one word, one phrase that Bernstein said. Somebody asked Bernstein, Maestro, what do you love the most in life? And he said, the thing I like the most in life is people, even more than music. That's why I made music. So it's been a pleasure to be with you tonight. And if you have any question, please, I'm more than happy to respond to you.